Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian McCormick. I'm the Director of Communications for the Henderson Silver Knights. Welcome to the Dollar Loan Center on this significant occasion for this franchise. We're also glad to have Golden Knights Director of Player Personnel Vaughn Karpen in attendance, as well as members of our Henderson Silver Knights staff and Golden Knights prospects Brendan Brisson, Isaiah Seville, and Daniel Chayka, as we welcome the next head coach of the Henderson Silver Knights, Mr. Ryan Craig. Now, Ryan is no stranger to Knights fans, gold and silver alike. He's been a member of the Golden Knights organization since its first game, serving 6 seasons as an assistant coach with Vegas and finishing that run with a Stanley Cup championship just a few weeks ago. But Ryan Craig is no stranger to the American Hockey League either. During a 14-year playing career, Ryan appeared in 711 AHL games. He was a Calder Cup champion in 2016, an All-Star in 2017, and served as captain for 9 teams in his AHL career. Now he will lead the Silver Knights into the 2023-24 season. Now joining Ryan on the dais this afternoon, familiar faces for sure, of course, Vegas Golden Knights General Manager Mr. Kelly McCrimmon, and Henderson Silver Knights General Manager, Mr. Tim Speltz. We'll hear from each member of our stage, and then we'll open it up to the floor for questions. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kelly McCrimmon.
Thanks, Brian. So, Craiger, you can see everyone likes an undefeated coach. You're very popular here on day one. Great honor, great privilege for me today to be part of the decision-making process and naming Ryan Craig, the head coach for the Henderson Silver Knights. I think that it's a tremendous next step for Ryan in his coaching career. I've known Ryan a long time. He's been a coach in every dressing room that he's ever been in as a player, from junior hockey to the American Hockey League. He's had a great opportunity to work under really good coaches in the National League, 6 seasons as an NHL assistant, lots of success during that time, prepares him, in my opinion, so well for the opportunity to become a head coach, get his experience as a head coach, and coach our Silver Knights. It's great for Ryan, it's great for the Henderson Silver Knights, it's great for the Vegas Golden Knights as well. This is a really important position in our organization. There's a real mandate to develop players. That's what the American Hockey League is for the NHL parent club, so that's a really important piece of this, and I think that he's going to do a great job at that. I think his experience as a player in the American Hockey League, he's mentored lots of players that were young guys that play in the NHL today. I know players that I've crossed paths with have mentioned how much they learned about leadership, about being a pro from Ryan when he was a player with them. And then as well, our mandate here for the city of Henderson is to win. We want to win hockey games, and we want to strike that balance where we surround our prospects with good veteran players in a winning environment. And I think we're really well positioned to do that. So to Ryan, his wife JD, his 3 children, we're extremely happy, proud of them to get this opportunity. He's got tremendous support throughout the organization from our player development director, Will Nickel, Vaughn Karpen, who is here with us, Tim, in his role as Henderson general manager, and George McPhee and myself with the Golden Knights, as well as his relationships with our existing coaching staff with Bruce Cassidy. So Ryan, welcome. Great to have you on board.
To echo some of Kelly's comments early in this process, when it feels this right, it is. And I think with Ryan's experience, and him and I talked about it from the time he moved away from home to play in Brandon to now is 25 years, and he's been preparing himself to be a coach. Most recently, he has been an assistant coach, and I think that experience, along with his playing experience, is going to give him nothing but great opportunity to be successful. And I'm very excited to work with him. Furthermore, I think with his experiences in the American Hockey League as a player, can only help our young players with their path to be future NHL players. And I think that's so important that he's lived it and lived it successfully as a leader. So very important. So with this, I'll turn it over to Ryan. Welcome, and very glad to have you. I'm excited. Thank you.
Well, first off, thank you everybody for coming out today. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Tim. My family, myself, are very, very excited for this opportunity. Henderson is, it's home, I guess is what they say here, right? So Henderson is home. So we're excited to get going here, excited to get to work. I first off, obviously have to thank Mr. Foley, Bill Foley, George McPhee, Kelly McCrimmon, Tim, yourself, Von Karpen, and Bruce Cassidy for allowing this opportunity to happen. This is it's a big deal for me. It's a big step in my coaching career. It's one that I see as the next step, the right step. It's the right time for this challenge. It's the right time for this opportunity. But it doesn't happen without everybody being on board. And the support I have received from Vegas, the Golden Knights, the Silver Knights today, has been tremendous. And it started with an opportunity 6 years ago, and here we are today. So I'd also like to acknowledge the players of the Vegas Golden Knights that I had the privilege to work with each and every day for 6 years. They made me a better coach, a better person, and helped me grow. I'd also like to acknowledge the coaching staffs that I was able to work with here. It started with Gerard Gallant, allowing me an opportunity to be a part of his staff, along with Mike Kelly and Ryan McGill. Moved on to Pete DeBoer and Steve Spott, and then concluded this year with the Stanley Cup with Bruce Cassidy, John Stevens, Misha Donskov, Dave Rogowski, and Sean Burke. So thank you to those guys. Would love to, or they are some of my best friends here in the hockey business. Our families are very tight, and they've been great mentors to me. Thank you to the HSK staff, the players for coming today. Excited to get to work with all of you. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. We will have our challenges. We will have our ups and downs, but we will push through and get through this, and hopefully be sitting here at the end of the year again next year as we celebrated with the Golden Knights. And then finally to the city of Las Vegas. My family and I moved here 6 years ago, and we didn't know what we were getting into. We didn't. This is the longest we've ever been anywhere as a family. That's life in the business of hockey. For us, it's become home. It has. It's become a place where we're very thankful we get to stay. I can continue to grow professionally. Personally, we can stay in the same spot. And that is, that's huge. Huge in this business, huge opportunity for my family. One of the reasons it just works. So to that, the AHL is about development. It's also about winning. We'd like to develop and win, not or, and that will be part of the mandate here that we will do. And I look forward to working with all of you. So thank you very much. Very honored to be here today. Appreciate the welcome.
Thank you all. We will now take questions from the media who are in attendance. There will be an opportunity for one-on-ones after the fact, but just for the general forum. So raise your hand. We have wireless microphones that will come around, and just state name, affiliation, and to whom your question is directed. We'll start with Ben Goetz from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Ben Goetz, Las Vegas Review-Journal. Ryan, you said this was the next right step for you. I guess I'm curious if you could expand on that. Why was this the opportunity you wanted to grab?
Well, I think without getting ahead of myself, the ultimate goal is to try to be an NHL head coach. And until you sit in that head coaching chair, there are most guys that reach that goal sit in that chair somewhere else before they reach the NHL. Now that's a personal goal of mine, just like these three players here sitting here today have goals and aspirations of coaching or playing in the NHL. For me, it's the right time. It's the right time. We obviously, with winning the Stanley Cup this year, I've been 6 years in that chair, very fortunate to be. I listed off the coaches I've had the opportunity to work with and grow with, and the full support of Bruce Cassidy and John Stevens and that group there. I talked to a lot of people before made the final decision on this. It feels like it's the right time. I trust that it's the right time, and like I said, I'm excited for the challenges and the opportunity.
Danny Webster, Las Vegas Sun. Ryan, you had mentioned Gerard and Pete and now Bruce. Is there one collective thing you learned from all three of them, or is there certain traits that you learned along the way to get you to this point?
Well, they're all great NHL coaches. And the one thing that stands out to me is they're all also themselves. They all have strengths. They all have their beliefs in what they believe in. And I think the thing for me is I have to be Ryan Craig, the coach. I have to be myself. I learned a ton from them. I learned things to do. I learned things that they maybe would like to do differently. I've learned those things or been able to witness those. Now it's an opportunity for me to sit in a chair where I will deal with some of those situations. And I think when you talk about those three guys, they're three very different individuals, all great individuals, all great families. But the one thing is they're all themselves. And I think that's the one thing I'll take away from this. Ryan Craig has to do what Ryan Craig believes is best for the Henderson Silver Knights and our players. And I think that's the one thing that we'll get to here is we're going to worry about the individual. And if we can take care of our individuals, the team stuff will take care of itself.
Ken Volkison, Vegas for Ryan. How did your role and responsibilities change over the course of the three, and how did that kind of get you ready for this opportunity?
Yeah, great question, Ken. I retired from playing and got Gerard welcomed me with open arms, and at that point he said, "I'd like you to help me with the power play and the forwards and the face-offs," and it grew from I think about 2 weeks, and he said, "You can have the power play. You can handle it now." And then from there, I started upstairs for the first 2 periods and came down. And about 20 games in, he said, "If you have the power play, we need you on the bench." So it morphed into that, to the spot I stood for a number of years. And then as the changes happened, Pete came in. I was responsible for the power play up until the end of that first year with him. And then flipped to the penalty kill. So I was able to run the penalty kill under Pete DeBoer. Steve Spott had switched to the power play. There were some changes later in that tenure where we switched back for a period of time. And then always was responsible for part of the pre-scouts and the face-offs and those kind of details. And then as it grew, Bruce came in, and it was more focused on the 5-on-5 and the pre-scouts while supporting him on the power play side. And it grew. So I've been very, very fortunate to be given some responsibility here right from the get-go from Gerard. And was able to grow with that. I would like to thank the players for growing with me with that. I would say it's interesting. You get up and you start talking in front of people, and I tell my kids that are this age now, kind of the age, I was forced to take a drama class in grade 8, and it's not me. And yet it was one of the best things I did because I had to get up and speak in front of people, and it really got me out of my shell. And I think it was the same of I think Turk saw a little bit of that when he said, "You just have it, just go ahead." And obviously they helped and looked over my shoulder, and it was a collaborative effort with all those guys, but that's how it kind of took part.
Ron Futrell from 8 News Now. Ryan, congratulations on the move. And I'm curious of the timing of it. How quickly after Knights win the Stanley Cup did they come to you? I assume they came to you with this idea to move you to the Henderson Silver Knights. Was it pretty quick?
Roughly 48 hours we started to talk about it. Yeah,
that's pretty quick.
Yes. Yeah.
And what were your initial thoughts? Was it did you have any sort of reservations saying, "Wait a minute, I'm sort of, not all the way, but sort of leaving the Stanley Cup champion to go to Henderson"?
Well, Kelly gave me a few hours to get my thoughts together before we came in, but no, it started roughly 48 hours after the Stanley Cup. I think Kelly and everybody was very respectful with allowing the coaches to focus on what we were trying to accomplish and what we were able to accomplish. And then as it worked itself through, there was multiple conversations between Kelly, myself, Tim, myself. I spoke to Von Karpen. I spoke to a number of people inside the organization as well as outside the organization. And I think wasn't to do due diligence or anything. I just have everybody has people they wanted to speak to and trust. And most importantly, I talked to my family. And everybody came back to the conclusion of it was the right time, the right opportunity, and you're ready for this. So very grateful that I was given that time to sort through it, and here we are today.
Hey Ryan, Justin Russo, Henderson Silver Knights. Obviously you've had some experience with some of the Silver Knights players coming through the Vegas Golden Knights. I wonder if that allows you to hit the ground running maybe as you approach the season this year?
Well, sure, I agree. I've seen these guys around the rink. I've seen them in training camp. I've seen the staff that I'll get to work with. We'll get to know each other better, obviously working daily together. But this isn't foreign to me, the Henderson Silver Knights. It's not. It's going to be very exciting. And the AHL isn't foreign to me. It's where I spent the majority of my time as a player. Very proud to spend the majority of my time as a player there. The American Hockey League is a great league. You can see the talent level that comes through here. You can see the guys that spend their time or their careers in the American League, and they're very good players. It's a league that has grown as it's moved out west here. It's a league that is, it's the NHL as close as you can get to without being in the NHL, and that's for coaches, that's for trainers and staff, that's for players, and I think that's what is so neat about the American League is how close it is to being in that proximity. And then you see the facilities that are here in Henderson between AFC and then the Dollar Loan Center here. It's a little bit of, they're the best in the league. The best in the league, and we're excited to get going here.
Danny Webster, Las Vegas Sun. Kelly, I think it was before the conference final, I'd asked you if there was any progress on the new coach for Henderson. When did you come to the decision that Ryan was the right guy for the job, and was there any process of looking at other candidates at that time?
Yeah, through the playoffs, with the position being open, we did have quite a bit of interest. Tim managed that process. We never really dug in deep on any candidates. We did want to talk to Ryan when the season ended, and yet we didn't want to interfere with the business at hand with Golden Knights being in the playoffs. So shortly, as Ryan mentioned, after we won the Stanley Cup, we wanted to sit down with Ryan, and then as he's detailed, I think his initial thoughts were it sure sounded like the right next step, but he wanted to be thorough and talk to the people that are important to him. And once I met with him and spoke with him specifically about the job, about where he was at in his career, about what we needed in Henderson, it was really clear for me that Ryan was the right guy for us. We're right for him, but he's also right for us. So that was kind of how that process went, and it came together real quickly once our season was over.
Ben Goetz, Las Vegas Regional. For Kelly, you've known Ryan a really long time, going all the way back to Brandon. Did you always know he could be a coach? Did you see that in him early on?
Yeah, I mentioned in my opening comments, for me, he's been a coach in every dressing room that he's ever been in. And, he played in Brandon for 5 years, so that's ages 16 through 20. I think if I remember right, he became our captain. I think he was an assistant captain at 17. He was our captain 18, 19, 20. And we had really good teams, and he was such a big part of just taking care of everything, for the coaches, right? And, he's had an accomplished career, and as he mentions, the majority of it was in the American Hockey League. I think he was 200 and some games in the National Hockey League, but he was an American League captain for 10 seasons. And I find that astounding because you have to be such a young guy when you get that opportunity to be a captain for the first time. So I think that's it's not the level of regard Kelly McCrimmon has for him. It's the level of regard he has amongst his peers, amongst the organizations that he's played in. I know, the people from Columbus that I saw in Nashville, some of those people now work in Colorado, how genuinely happy they are to see Ryan get this opportunity, and just how they just know that's exactly what he needs to do next. So that's the regard he's had, and I guess specifically to your point, I think his leadership ties into the kind of people that you can see being interested in coaching, and then his path, and then his work as a coach. He's had 6 successful seasons as an NHL coach. That's pretty good training.
For Kelly, if I can switch to the Golden Knights for a second, with free agency starting tomorrow, can you just give an update on where you're at with Aiden Hill?
Yeah, this day is all about HSK, all about Ryan Craig. We'll speak to Aiden. I knew someone would ask it, and that's fine. I understand the interest, but tomorrow is the opening of free agency. We expect to button our business up quickly, which I believe I spoke to at the NHL draft. Some of the things that we've done have put us in a position here where I expect that we'll be able to discuss this very shortly. But today's about Ryan Craig, about the HSK. Unless you want to talk about the Stanley Cup. Well, we can do that if you want to do that. I'm only kidding.
Well, once more, congratulations to new head coach Ryan Craig. Now, Kelly and Tim, you guys have been doing a lot of jersey presentations and pictures over the last couple of days. I hope there's time for one more. If we can have some of our staff come and help clear the stage. Ryan Craig is a new Silver Knight. He needs a Silver Knights jersey. You're going to get a better shot in just a second, folks.